Jeez, okay.
Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call meeting order, roll call.
Hey, Mayor Westergaard.
Yes.
Moeller.
Yes.
Steinkamp.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
And Councilor Wolfman is absent.
No public forum, we have a consent agenda motion.
So move.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Moeller.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Steinkamp.
Yes.
Okay, we have 3 building permits, everything's signed.
They are signed. That Sean Olson one is approved.
Okay, motion to approve.
So move.
I'll
Second,
make that motion.
there you go. How do you got it?
You're always a day late.
Did you want that to be a second then, Whitey?
Yeah, I'll be a second, yeah,
Okay.
that way you know I'm still here.
Roll
Okay.
call.
Good. Okay, Moeller.
Yes.
Steinkamp.
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
So this is, that pit stop, what is that gonna be?
It's the Four Seasons Car Wash with the new owner.
Oh, okay, okay.
And a new automatic bay right next to you now.
Oh, is that right? Is that what the, I saw some equipment down there, that's what's
I
happening.
wish they'd put an outside bay for trucks, so they wouldn't get that mud all over.
This will be an automatic bay. They'll build it this fall and winter, I think equip it next spring.
Oh. That'd be nice.
That'd be good.
It'd be very nice.
Okay, we have an application for the Business Property Improvement Grant Program. Dr. Pateen's here to explain this, right?
I did ask Todd
I was told to show up.
Okay, well, we'll take that.
I did ask Todd to come, and we can talk about his project a little bit, but just generally talking a little bit about the business and bringing everybody up to speed about what goes on down there, because things change over time, and things are changing down there again, so.
Significantly, yes. So I guess, give me some idea what, you know, Scott, you and I visited a little bit. What kind of information would you like me to share? I mean, how much information?
Well,
How long do you want me to babble here?
About
So-
the scope of your practice and what it is that you're doing and focusing on now, as well as what the future's gonna look like about your staffing and everything.
Sure, okay, all right. So the project started because we were doing a lot of surgery, about approximately half of my time is now spent doing surgery, and somewhere around 20% of my surgery business is now referred in from other clinics. So I'm specializing in specifically orthopedics, all surgery, but a lot of orthopedic procedures that aren't offered anywhere, basically other than Iowa State, and a few other referral centers in Des Moines. So we now have clinics from as far away as Story City, Des Moines, Lyman, Remsen Marcus, Leopard at Manson, Spencer. There's about 15 clinics that refer cases to me on a regular basis. And so the need for a new surgery suite was what started the project. And then once we started, it just kind of kept going and going and going. So we basically redid the entire inside of the clinic. All of the horse equipment and stuff that we had is all gone. That's all turned into small animal surgery, small animal runs, new runs and stuff. We added an exam room and basically redid all the floors, ceilings, walls, everything from the back of the clinic all the way, all new cabinetry, cupboards, everything, all the way up. And we're just finishing on the back end of the clinic. There's what used to be our dog runs is getting rebuilt with the walls and stuff. We're getting pretty shoddy, so we're rebuilding that, and then we're going to do some more work out front. We need to do some cement work up there. We need a new sign, some new door up front, just some stuff like that. The big barn, the big blue barn, the front doors, big sliding doors there are non-usable. They've heaved and everything, and we can't move them. So we're gonna do a little cement work there and put in a like a rolling garage door.
So do you do
type
the
thing.
work with the horses that you used to, Tony?
None.
None.
None. We're doing a very limited number of things, and the horse business just completely petered away.
Collapsed, yeah.
Yeah. In 2005, it just tanked, and it's just been a slow decrease since then. And I can generate so much more revenue and not get hurt doing it in the surgery room. So, so we've increased. So not just in the surgery thing, we've also become kind of a mini referral center because of the equipment that I have for several clinics in the area, especially some that are some older veterinarians that don't have x-ray and in-house blood work and stuff. So we've got several of those clinics that they don't want to invest that money. So they're sending the cases that require that kind of stuff to us. We get a lot of referrals from one of the clinics in Storm Lake. That veterinarian up there is very uncomfortable doing more than just basic stuff, so we see a lot of the medicine cases for them. We now have Dr. Chris Bean, who actually worked at that clinic in Storm Lake, continues to work there a day a week, and now started working for me 1 to 2 days a week to help pick up the internal medicine and some of the routine things, because a lot of the routine, the vaccinations, I mean, those things that we continue to do, I flat ran out of time. I mean, there just wasn't enough time in the day. So Chris has joined us now. We've hired a new graduate. She will start in June. She's a 4th-year vet student now, by the name of Sammy Neighborhouse. She's a Shaler, born and raised in the Shaler area, has a fiance that farms in that area, so she wanted to stay somewhat local. So she'll be starting full-time in June. And then our oldest daughter, Natasha, is in her 2nd year of vet school. So she's got 2 years and is coming home to join Dad at the practice. So that kind of was the other stimulant, that when Tasha got accepted to vet school and said, Dad, I want to come home and practice, I'm like, okay, we got to get this thing brought up to speed, get it so that 2 veterinarians can function, because it was set up for 1 person. You know, it just didn't flow for more than 1. So that we've corrected that now, and it's flowing well. It's
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, we've shown a 25% increase in gross revenue in just the last year.
You know,
It's
I'm not,
jumped up a lot.
of course, you've never had to do surgery on any of my animals, I guess, but my step-granddaughter lives in Granville.
Okay.
I brought her dog down to you a few years ago.
Okay.
I don't remember what surgery it required, but I remember I said, you brought it to Lakeview? And she's like, yeah, he's one of the few that were able to do that surgery. So that was when I first kind of heard about that.
Yeah, it was a year and a half ago. I took some advanced training to do a procedure. It's called a tibial plateau leveling osteotomy, and there'll be a test on that. It is the gold standard in surgery for fixing the ACL in dogs' knees. They have a cruciate just like humans do.
That's what you did to our dog.
Okay, and so this is the newest, not necessarily the newest procedure. It's been around for a while, but it was a procedure that is basically all others stand against. It's had the best track record. And previous to this, the university and a few isolated referral centers were the only ones that did it. And right now, I do them. There's a guy in Omaha that does it, Sioux Falls, Des Moines, Ames, and in Northeast Iowa. And so we're sitting right out here in the middle, and so we're drawing from a very large area that otherwise they were sending those to Des Moines or the vet school primarily. And honestly, having vet school shut down for the COVID thing was a big boom for us, because they won't take cases at all.
Yeah,
They just won't take them.
unless
So-
it was an emergency.
Yeah, and then you have to
And
come
even
through,
then
and
it
they
wasn't-
said that they're 8 months out on scheduling these surgeries and stuff, and they're almost 3 times more expensive. That has something to do with it too, probably, but
Congratulations.
thank you.
Good job, yeah.
Thank you.
I think that's great she's coming back.
I think it's a dad's dream
Yeah.
come true, I can tell you that. And our youngest daughter, Caitlin, is actually applying for vet school this fall. Hasn't decided for sure if she wants to go home and join sis and dad, but she's got fantastic grades, so there's little doubt she'll get accepted to vet school. It's just a matter of what she wants to do when she's done. So we're already looking down the road a little farther to say, okay, what's it gonna take to make room for one more if we need to,
Yeah,
so,
cool.
we'll see,
Yep.
we'll see.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve that application?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
roll call?
Thomas,
Yes.
Moeller,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Steinkamp.
We look forward to it, thank you.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody wants a tour,
Oh, yeah, come on.
come down, we like showing
I've
it
been
off
down there, I
now.
think it's awesome, already what you've done, I really think
Well,
it's
yeah,
nice.
anytime, just let us know.
Yeah, I got a card laying there that my dogs do, so.
Come on down, ask for the.
Yep, we got remodeling to pay for, come on down.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you need us to stick around anymore?
Nope, you're good.
Okay.
You're approved.
Thank you, everybody,
Thank you very much.
appreciate it.
Yep.
The boring stuff.
Nice
comes
meeting
later
you.
if you do wanna stay.
Nice meeting you. Take care.
What was that?
Thanks.
Okay, library project, pay estimate number 8, it's done.
Yeah, just, yeah, a little update on the project first, just that the project is done. There was just a couple of little things about a door jam or something that still needed to get the right plate in there. But other than that, it is done.
So are the shelves all in?
No.
No.
Yeah, so it's, the construction work is done. Like they still have stuff in that trailer, and they gotta get that stuff out. Eric's been working a lot here over the last week down there, and working on the shelves, and what he does is lowers the shelves so that you can see over the top of them, and just makes it a lot
That is
more
nice, yeah.
spacious. You know, there's a lot more airy. So, anyway, they've been working on that. On the pay application, which is certainly recommended for approval, they have sent me a couple of things. The first thing is, there is one more change order, and it's for excuse me, leveling of the floor in that old meeting room. So that'll add another $300, and that'll $338, something like that. And that'll be on the next council agenda. But it did change the amount of payments here just a little bit when I had them send new pay estimates. So the amount for approval tonight says $10,747, increases to $11,097.52. So that would be the payment amount for tonight. Recommended for payment.
We have a motion to approve that payment,
So moved.
second,
I'll
Second.
second.
Oh, go ahead, Terry.
roll call.
Thomas,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Moeller,
Yes.
Steinkamp.
Okay, we have an independent auditor's report.
We do, but I think we grabbed the wrong pile full of stuff. Let me get that.
You can have mine.
Yeah, I know that the thing that interests everybody as you're reading through this is always the recommendation, so we will jump back there to page 8. And just in general, the report is a very good report. But they do have a few recommendations, and the first one, of course, deals with segregation of duties. And we've had that recommendation every year about how we can continue to segregate duties. We have implemented a lot of stuff here over the past several years, including getting the mayor involved in this on cash reconciliation and check approvals after the fact. And so actually she's been pretty happy with that, but the recommendation is always to continue to find different ways where we can segregate the duties. Outstanding checks, we do have some outstanding checks from several years ago, 16, 17, and 18. And what we're supposed to do is get those to the state treasurer. It ends up being the Great Iowa Treasure Hunt, is how people recoup their funds there.
They are checks that you issued,
Say like they would be,
refunds or something?
yeah, they're largely utility refunds.
Okay.
Supporting documentation, they mentioned a certain disbursement that did not have supporting documentation. I could not tell you what that is, but I think they noted one that did not have again, the supporting documentation. Long-term debt schedule had a typo in it where we had listed that we had $67 million in debt for the sewer lagoon instead of $6.7 million. So that typo was noted, as well as the capital projects. You know, when we go, we show the monthly financial report, and we have all of these little capital funds. And some of them have, you know, a few $100s in these capital funds, and they haven't changed for years. And just the recommendation would be to combine those or get that money back, probably likely to the general fund, and do away with some of the unused capital funds.
So what is the process for that?
It's just really a matter of me doing it, and if it involves official transfers from one fund to another, it would take a resolution of the council.
So you plan on doing that?
I will. And we'll get those, a lot of them just combined together.
Okay, good job.
We need a motion on the approval?
Yeah, we do need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Muller,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Stankin.
Okay, comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got those 3 proposals for updating the city's comprehensive plan. So the last time we had a comprehensive plan update was in 2010. So it has been now right at 10 years. And then what we would do is with the assistance of a consultant, really go through and update this plan. But it's an entirely new planning process, really is what it amounts to. So it does need some assistance really to work through this, and we've taken proposals, sent out 4 potential proposals and got 3 back. So you know we got one from Region 12, from Veenstra and Kim. Veenstra and Kim is the one who did our last comp plan. And then we also got a proposal from Bolton and Mink. So with that, I'm interested in your comments on those proposals, and you know, are we?
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
Because I'm not really familiar with this. I mean, I'm kind of aware of it, but I don't, you know, haven't gone through this process before. So, do we really benefit from this?
Yes,
Really?
you know,
Nuts and bolts?
yeah, you know, it's like virtually any other plan. The value of the plan comes from the implementation of it. So, you know, you always gotta be careful about that you don't go through the planning process and then just let it sit, which we were not especially good about last time. Although it was, we got a lot of good stuff out of that one last time because it updated all of our utility mapping and got good zoning mapping in.
Oh, okay.
And we felt real good about that side of things. But other than that, it is the implementation of the plan, you know, after the fact. Plus, it's going through the process is good to know that you're focusing on the things that are important to the community.
So the P&Z is the one that actually works through this document?
We would likely propose a citizens committee, and that would have some involvement, whether some involvement of elected officials and some from planning and zoning, but there'd be some from community organizations and some from city and some from the school, and get a broad-based community organization to walk through this comp plan process.
Well, you know, the one is pretty expensive. The second one, I thought maybe Region 12 offered the best deal for
Yes.
the money, and seems like they've done a lot of them in the area. So I assume they have quite a bit of experience in this.
They do, yeah.
So that's my only thought was,
Well, I think Region 12 is the only way to go.
You know, when we sent out the proposals, our request for proposals, we asked them for the proposals, said that there may be an invitation for presentations. So that's the only other thing I would offer to you is if you want to hear a presentation from any of these folks, we sure can do that. Otherwise, we sure could make a decision about a group that you would like to enter into negotiations with.
We don't need to interview them.
You know.
I remember the last one we did.
Yeah. Region 12 is close too, so
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably a good thought there.
That was almost a motion from Vicky, wasn't it?
Well, this one, the highest priced one, because there was quite a range of
Yeah,
fun
there sure
ones.
was.
Yes,
Yeah.
there was.
So, what is it that you think this one brings to the table, that this one does?
Just that they focus so much more on green infrastructure and sustainability. That's a strong suit of their organization. Now, having said that, you know, like I say, the price was 3 times more, and I don't have any issues with working with Region 12.
Okay,
I'll
well,
make that motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
roll call.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Moeller,
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, Sac County Endowment Foundation grant application.
Yeah, just that it's time to submit grant applications. And we're looking for projects. So before we get anything into cabins, are there projects that folks have out there as far as ideas?
Sidewalk from the shelter house up to the green bins. That one block. We can do 2.
We can, you know, and actually we can do 2, and actually 3. Last year we did 3, because, and we would submit one again for 2 more historic kiosks for the Historic Preservation Commission.
So are we gonna, like that parking place where I called you about the other, are you gonna put some signage up for that?
Yeah, you know, I guess it wouldn't hurt to put up something.
Well,
that
so
basically
people
says
know
public
that it's
parking lot.
available.
Yeah, I was just working on the newsletter, which will go out here in the next couple of days, and put a story in there.
Are they gonna have a time limit on parking there?
Well, we might wanna have that discussion, because as of now, there's no time limit. And,
It'd be nice if we had some, those curb things. You know,
okay,
I mean, just something to define the area. Maybe not the whole way around it, but just somewhere.
So which
I don't
way
know.
are they parking, east and west or north and south? Are both side, are
you know,
alley?
I guess in my mind, it would be east and west, but it's not defined at all, so. And truly, I don't know how many cars are gonna be there, you know, I don't
Yeah.
anticipate a whole lot.
If
But
you
it
were-
is a good
If
option.
you were gonna do east and west and you put those, what are those called, those curb things?
Oh, yeah, parking barriers. and-
Parking
and-
barriers,
and we'd put
you know,
them
on
clear,
each
like, to the
end,
east,
then
yeah.
it kinda tells you where you should park.
Yeah.
30
I think
days
that
ought to
was-
be plenty, hadn't it? Wouldn't that be, 30 days is a long time to let them park there?
Yes.
Well, I was thinking that, you know, for people like, well, say the apartments,
Yeah.
they have an extra vehicle that they don't drive, you know, all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
but are they gonna get fined if they leave it sit for, well, 4 days or 72 hours, because,
Oh, no.
like the street,
That 72-hour thing just applies to the streets.
but that ain't working.
Well, that just requires the enforcement. It's there.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked. Well, it hasn't. I see it sitting there for a lot longer now, so.
Yeah. I got a list.
Oh, no.
Like
Glad about that.
Is this one I need to leave?
No. We're good.
Okay, so, yeah, I'd like to see those purchased for that, and I like this cabin. I was talking to Ruth the other day, I was a little surprised when they didn't have any water, but I guess.
No.
Apparently it doesn't hurt the renting of the other one, doesn't have any water either, I guess, so.
We're right next to the bathroom.
Well, but they're right by the shower there.
Yeah, but I don't know, I kinda like that bottom one better, but I
So do
don't,
I, but how many are you talking about? One?
Two.
two.
Two?
Oh, yeah. If we're gonna throw it on you, we're gonna
I'm
throw everything we
talking-
got.
I'm talking 3, Ruthie.
You're talking
3, that'll work.
Okay, my only question is, where are we gonna put the carnival crew when they come to town?
City,
If we put,
city shed.
Jeez,
Come on,
We may not ever have them come back, you never know.
okay.
After this summer, who knows?
well, it's
They're
a valid,
coming
it's a
back,
valid
John.
question, Ruth, and it's something we
Yes.
need to figure out.
'Cause
I mean, do you have
really
any
don't want-
ideas
I
how we can
really
do both?
wouldn't- I mean, they're not bad people, don't get me wrong, but I really wouldn't want them mixed in with all the other people. And they'd have to make a reservation to start with, you know, to be able to get sites. Because they pack about 20 campers in that area.
Well, Well, we certainly want them to have a place.
But unless they made a reservation, if there wasn't room for them in there, I don't know where they'd go.
But they're only here a couple days out of the year, and these other campers are here all summer long.
I don't, so I mean, I'm sure they'd like to be together, but
But I don't know where they'd go. Cause they just come in with all that stuff. About 14, 15 campers, you know, and that big,
and you can't accommodate them if we put these camper, is that what you're telling me?
cause it fills that space up. And then they have that big, what is it, it's a big, it's a big horse trailer or something, I don't know.
It's a bunkhouse, big,
It's a
yeah,
bunkhouse,
traveling
yeah.
bunkhouse, but yeah.
Well, what is your solution for
We
that?
got 8 months to figure it
But
out, right?
we got some time to figure it
We got
out.
time to figure it out.
We can put
And if we-
cabins in there first.
Yeah, put the cabins in work
Yeah,
on later.
I'll pitch my idea, because we got the one cabin there,
Uh-huh.
and that we can look at putting another cabin basically right next to it. There's some drainage issues there, right in that area that we need to address. Put another cabin close to it, so they're sharing the same parking. And then you go a little bit further north on the fence line, and you do the same thing. You put in 2 new cabins with a shared parking area. That way, it's not taking up all of that area, you know, it's,
So there'd be some area left for
Yeah.
overflow?
it doesn't take up that entire area, and focuses a lot more, along the fence line there.
What do you think?
Which is,
Bruce?
for the huge majority of the year, that area is not utilized at all. But, water carnival, of course, is the issue.
Yeah, because if you're talking about one right by the first one, that drainage ditch there,
A little bit
that
too
would
north
be a
of that.
problem, you'd have to get away from that.
Well, we thought we'd have to raise them up a foot before we put the cement slab to keep them out of the
We
water.
can put them like up on stilts or what are they?
Well, just a
called?
foot high.
Like you do down in Louisiana or
Yeah,
something
there you
like
go.
that.
I tell you what, if we had decided that we're gonna do this, of course, we're doing that new construction project down there right now. We'll work with the contractor to have them get some dirt over to these new locations, and,
So,
get it done this fall yet, and allow it to settle down over the winter.
Well, I'd like to see it, but I would like to see, I mean, I'd like to see you figure out where you're gonna put the carnival group, because obviously we need to put them somewhere.
we can figure it out.
I guess what I'd really like to know is if we can be in favor of this, remembering, again, this is a grant application, but it only funds half the project, so you gotta come up with the other half of the project, and even if you just said each unit's $10,000, well, add another few $1,000s to each one for site preparation and power, air conditioning, you know, some of that type of stuff. So if you get up to, you know, $15,000, you got a $45,000 project, and that pays for half of it. But, you know, that's $23,000 of the city's portion.
What kind of rent would you get out of these?
Well, we get 40 out of that one now,
40 a night?
minimum of 2 nights.
The new ones will be 50.
Which, you know, that's always been my argument against cabins, is I don't think the cash flow would make money. But especially
How
if it's
do they get
grant
rented?
funded.
Almost every weekend in the
Oh, okay.
summertime.
No, I didn't know.
And sometimes during the week, you know, if
Yeah.
somebody's coming through.
So we
I
do,
think we've made such a large investment with the other stuff, we need to generate as much revenue as we can. That space ain't bringing us any revenue at this time, and we could always take a look at rates when the new year starts, or next year, or whatever. So, I mean, people enjoy cabins. Swan Lake is always full. I got a friend that works there during the summer, and that's all he ever says, that they're booked out for 2 years already. So, I mean, there again, some people just want to be close to the lake, and that sounds like we could make it work if we want to.
Do they know what they're charging for, do they charge more than we do here?
Oh, yeah, they charge, I'm pretty sure that it's right at $100 a night, so.
Well, they have like, down at Swan, they've got, I know at least one where it's an actual house. I mean,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and that's what, but they're talking about building a couple because of the revenue, and like I said, ours wouldn't be as fancy, so I don't know what you could do for money-wise, but I'm sure we can make something work. If it, once it gets out, it takes care of itself. I mean, booking, you know, there's people that want to spend the weekend at the lake, and they won't mind a small house like that.
I think we should at least get the site ready.
Yeah, I guess here's what I would ask, if this is gonna be our chosen application for the grant, that's due on the 23rd of October,
Right.
that here over the next couple of weeks, we'll get a project at least mocked up and get a pretty good idea about what it would look like, and we'll present it to the council at the next council meeting, but, know that that'll be Monday and the grant's due on Friday, so there's not a whole lot of time to change a whole lot of stuff, but I wanna make sure everybody's on board.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Well, we built a $200,000 bathroom, we can't cash flow either, right?
Well, we don't charge people with pay toilets.
Well, you can't,
But we have a profit from the campground we haven't had, right? The campground made a lot of money this year, right? There's nothing wrong with reinvesting that, I don't think.
Exactly.
Yep,
That,
Ruthie told me a number when I was down there this week about how much she thought we were up over last year. What
60.
was that number?
60.
there you go.
That's
60,000.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're up
2,000, yeah, I think,
That'll settle
you
the
know, I
cash.
know this isn't probably what Ruth wants to hear, but I think we oughta just keep just improving it, offering lots of things and improving it.
No, I agree, because when it was in the
we're
paper,
invested, this is a business investment. You gotta look at it this way. And it's another way to bring people that don't have a camper, that might wanna do a little camping, so.
Right.
Yep.
It is.
The bed, you know, the, what do you call 'em?
Edinburgh.
Bed and breakfast?
Well, yeah, the RV.
Oh, Airbnb.
Airbnbs. Do Waldorf's operate as an Airbnb?
They do.
That's where he's at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I just wondered if they operated as an Airbnb.
That's how they run it. Yeah.
nice place.
Yes, it is.
They're nice people.
Yes, they
They're
are.
awesome.
Yep, sounds good. What were you saying, Ruth?
Um,
You forgot?
We have administrative
Welcome to my
report.
Well, just a question on this too. So are we gonna look at another project with that sidewalk? It's the one between Speaker Park and the new sidewalk by the elevator.
It's really pitted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can apply for that and,
I mean, I know it's a private sidewalk, but it's kinda like the one we did on
Third
Third
Street,
Street.
yep.
It's a through fare.
just gotta have that in your own mind about what's public project and what would be
When
private.
someone comes
you know,
and starts
'cause-
asking
yes,
that
people start
question,
asking
they
before
will.
too long, you bet.
But we did Third Street, it's like, it's an avenue to go from the lake uptown or from uptown to the lake, and that was the end of
That's
that.
what,
That's what we
that's
did,
important, keep the flow.
yes.
Well, you got the parking lot, now they're gonna walk down to the lake, so.
Right.
Then we have an administrative report.
Yeah, so just, I will talk through this update about the lagoon, that that south lagoon cell, of course, had continued to leak. So John Healy had been out there working for quite some time. And just know that any place in the berms where they have piping running, that the pipe is all bedded in rock and largely completely encased in rock. So if there's water that gets into that rock channel around the pipe, it's very easy for water to wick and go wherever it would. So they had opened up the berm. Okay, so we're on the west side of cell number 1, but at the northwest corner. There's another manhole there at the northwest corner of cell number 1.
Just all use the same.
And they opened that up a little bit to the south of that manhole, and water's just pouring in there. So they know the water's getting into this trench.
But they don't know from where.
And it could be from any of the piping that's there, including all the piping that runs to the east. There's another manhole there, it runs right down that dividing berm.
What is the engineer's opinion? Because when we were out there months ago, when we had this little leak, he said he had,
Oh, Jesus.
He said that they were
I
gonna,
take it you heard me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you.
they were gonna fix it, and he had it figured out, he was sure what it was, and then that didn't work, and then we fixed it again, and now
Right, so
we're on
this
the
is the
third or
third
fourth time.
Yeah.
Has he been there?
I don't know that Todd's been there, the inspector's been there, yeah.
He was there the first time.
Well, it was. So here's what's been done. They find all this water coming around the northwest manhole of cell 1. So what they did was exposed all the way around that pipe. And just think about maybe things in about 3 feet wide, as putting a 3-foot wide collar all the way around the pipe. Okay, so that this 3-foot wide collar of clay and bentonite never touches any rock. It only touches good soils. And you've created a dam then, okay? Well, they did that right south of the manhole. They did one in the middle of that west berm of cell 1, and they did one clear on the south part there of cell 1, just north of that, of the inflow manhole. So there's 3 dams there. And then
And who proposed that, fix it?
it comes, John Healy had a lot to do with it, and of course the engineers then are on board with what the repair would be. Now, the other thing that they did, 2 things, is around the inflow manhole there, which is on the southwest part of cell 1, they basically reconstructed the entire area around that. There's pipe flowing into that up high. There's also a pipe flowing into that from constantly below the water level. And they had drained this, of course, and then fixed that entire area around both of these pipes. So that whole area around the manhole is really encased with clay and bentonite, no rock anymore. The other thing that John had done on the south berm wall is took off all the riprap and added more clay and bentonite and recompacted that south berm wall too. So there's been a lot of work done out there. But where they're at right now is that they're refilling cell 1.
And Gretman Hicks is paying for all of this?
I had asked John about that. He's working for Gretman Hicks. Yes.
Okay, so way back when we were out there, and John Healy had some concerns at that time. Can you refresh my memory on what that was? Because I remember saying to the engineer, Healy has concerns about this, and he said, well, I don't know why, he just want more money.
Okay.
Todd said that.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I know we had lots of those discussions.
Hey, Scott?
Yep.
One of the things when we were out there and I was talking to John, my concern was what this is gonna be like with winter coming on, with frost, you know, even or not even is going on there.
Yep.
I just wanna caution the council, as far as I'm concerned, we make no decisions until spring on when we take this over, if we take it over, until we're satisfied with that problem being solved. And you know, like I talking to Vicki there, like she said, they stood on top of that manhole saying that they had this all figured out. Well, I don't think they've run into a problem like this before, and then they have a lot of concern about that. So I don't want to move too quick on accepting what's going on until we get it filled, until we see some time and then see what the frost is doing to it, whether it heaves or not heaves. So that's my opinion only, but, you know, whatever you guys think.
I agree.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions on Lagoon? Okay. A few other things. The Hometown Pride Group and the subcommittee who's working on a proposal about a community center has a concept that's ready to go, and they're going to present this at a public meeting on Tuesday, October 13th, 7 o'clock, and it's at the Speaker Park Shelter House. And sure would love for all of the mayor and council members to be able to attend that. And I know you're out of town, Tammy, so that's.
Well, I will try to zoom in.
But yeah, if you can zoom in, that'd be great. Yeah, they do have quite a proposal ready to go, and they'll lay it out then to the public at that time.
It's a concept.
Yes. No.
So,
How you put notice out to let everybody know what avenues are you going?
It's in the paper tomorrow. It goes on newsletter, and then we'll have everything out on Facebook here shortly too.
Will Connie put that on?
Angie's working with
Angie?
Connie.
Okay,
to put it on
Facebook.
Facebook, we just want as many people to know as possible.
Sure. Yep.
And so they can Zoom, or we will have, but you're gonna videotape it or
We will
record it?
record the Zoom presentation also. And I'm not really up to speed on all the technology, but you record the Zoom presentation, and I think we can just save it basically in the same format like we do all of our council meetings, and we can put a link on our webpage to be able to watch it.
Okay, that'd be good.
because we got a different camera coming. So it won't be green.
Was it free or something?
No, I did get my ear full that day.
Got a couple other things for you. Thing about water quality, lake water quality, it's, we're gonna hear a lot more stuff about from Ethan, is the guy who has assumed TJ's position, okay? As watershed coordinator, but Ethan's gonna be a lot more proactive on some of the urban stuff and wants to work with us, and we got a few things that are pending. So, we do have a few things that are pending there, including some basic stuff, and I really just want to kind of prime the pump on this because I want to talk a lot more, especially during budget time, about a project to locate and map all of our storm sewers. Our mapping's terrible, and it could be an undertaking to really know where all of our storm sewers and tiles go around here. And then after that, really look at some ways that we can look at lake water treatment and pertaining to our storm sewers. And there's a couple of options there that make really good grant applications for this WQI grant, that the applications come up here in the next couple of months. So anyway, we'll talk a lot more about that, but we'll hear these things as they talk through the Blackhawk LPA too. You know, these will be potential projects that the LPA might be interested in partnering with us on.
So they're gonna meet with, what did you say the new guy's name is?
Ethan T.
So they're gonna meet with Ethan?
Yeah, and Ethan's been a regular attendee at their board
Oh, has
meetings.
he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, talking about water quality, are there plans to start putting that berm up there on the south side of the lake there,
Fish barrier.
across the bridge?
Yeah, the fish barrier.
Yeah.
Actually, just got a notice today about the contractor requesting a pre-construction meeting for the 13th of October. So he does want to get moved in and get things started yet this fall.
Okay, so that's what the DNR, and then we gotta have our representation there?
Oh yeah, because it involves the city certainly about the funding, but one of the big things that it will involve the city for is we got to have ample amounts of power there to run that pump. And it does end up being a pretty good sized project in order to make sure we got the right power there for it.
Okay.
Is this when you told me about the zebra mussels? They're here. Well, we got an email from Ben today, they're here.
Really?
In the lab.
Got and run that, pull their boat this summer and take it home and wash it up.
Oh,
Thing is bad.
really good.
What are they gonna do about it? I mean, what can they do?
Nothing.
I don't know, they can't.
Same thing.
Another thing to, a different idea that I really want to pitch to you is this concept of about interacting with the public again, but through texting, to where they could text in issues to the city and have automatic responses back to from the city, or the initial way that I wanted to look at this was mass texting from the city to the citizens. And there's some opportunities to do that too. And so I was working with this vendor called TextMyGov, and they will, they have a nice product out there that interfaces with our website as far as how we inform people about this. Again, just opportunities about having a different way to interact with the public.
Well, I think, you know, if you're gonna send a huge text message out to the community, I guess that's not a bad idea. But I don't like those text things when they text or they chat and all they get are canned answers.
That's how it starts.
Where, you know, where it wouldn't be that they're getting one-on-one that they would need to get. I mean, I certainly wouldn't wanna see us quit answering the phone and turn that thing on, cause that's
Sure.
frustrating.
Yeah.
My 2 cents.
Just know that this thing is out there, and we'll talk more about it. And this one runs about $133 a month, so the cost is not dramatic, but it's an investment. A couple things on our Camp Crescent project is ready to start. The pipe is down there, and I think we tore out utilities today.
They dug graves today.
Pardon me?
They dug graves today.
Today.
They dug down 8 or 10 feet.
Really?
Whatever.
And
Said
did the
you
plumber
didn't-
show up today?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one
He's there.
digging.
Okay.
He was
But
digging, yeah.
they must have, I saw him taking old sewer pipe out and stuff and throwing it in the dumpsters, and then they were putting in, they had the big green pipes laying there, so I don't know if they started putting something in or not.
So when they start with the sewer, they, remember, we're replacing everything from the sewer main out there on 3rd Street, back into the campground, including the dump station. So that's really where they're starting, is around the dump station, and it will involve quite a little work around, tearing around that dump station and
That was sorely
replumbing that.
needed, I think.
Yep, they've been talking about that for years. Talked about it every year,
Yep.
finally getting it done.
A couple other things kind of related to the campground is that as we take these sites out and replace them with new pads and everything, we've also planned to put new picnic tables there next year. So we have ultimately 24 picnic tables, but 10 of them are still in use storing stuff. Anyway, we'll have 14 picnic tables available right away that'd be for sale, and we would propose that we'd sell them for $10 a piece and see if anybody wants them.
Can we get those, can we get an SCTD grant for new picnic tables for the shelter house?
Likely not. They want vertical interest.
We might have to actually buy it now.
You
Might
mean
get an Orion grant.
It would be nice to have new metal ones up there, those
On the
are so-
patio?
Yeah, they're so shabby looking.
We could get an Orion grant,
Pretty good,
that's a schmooze Connie.
yeah.
Scott.
And another thing to sell is we still have Ruth's old golf cart. So there's a couple people who are interested in buying that thing, but I would intend to list it for sale. So we just want, do you want to list it locally, or we've had a lot of luck listing through Big Iron? But it's only, it's only a few $100 this time, I would guess.
What's it cost you to list through that?
12%.
We can always get good money out of Big Iron. We could take sealed bids.
Sealed bids would be the other way to go. We just publish in the paper and send
How
out.
much are you gonna get out of it?
$200, just put it in the paper.
Say just a few $100, I would
Yeah.
guess. It runs okay, doesn't it?
Got a lot of miles on it.
It just has, yeah.
So do I.
Oh, you're just witty, where are you?
I'm in Missouri.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
That is all that I have.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
meeting adjourned.
Very good.
All right, I'll see you guys in a couple of days.
See you, Whitey.
All righty.